Do you ever feel like manifestation is just another thing on your to-do list that you don't have time for? Like your spiritual practice is something that you have to do? Honestly, you're not alone because I felt that way too. Something that's really changed my relationship with manifestation is blending it into my lifestyle so that no matter what I'm doing, I'm also manifesting. I call this manifestation as a lifestyle, and it's single handedly made the entire manifestation journey more enjoyable for me. And I've seen my desires show up with a lot more ease. Manifesting as a lifestyle has made manifestation go from feeling like a task to something I just naturally do because it's who I am. If you'd like to learn more about this, I've created a step-by-step guide for you. I'll link it in my show notes so you can check it out. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Affirmation Addict podcast. Today, I'm going to be talking to you all about quantum leaps. This is my first podcast episode of the year, and you guys have already known that I've been talking about 2020 having a really different energy, and I'm sure you've heard that a lot because 2020 is such a big year in terms of just the paradigm shift and so on. So I really want to talk to you about why 2020 is a year of quantum leaps. And if you've never heard of a quantum leap, I'm going to be diving into what that is and how you can take one as well, because I think I finally experienced my own version of a quantum leap, and I know exactly what it took for me to get there, and I'm so excited to share that with you. So I hope you enjoy this episode and stay tuned. You're listening to the Affirmation Addict podcast with Payal Agarwal. This podcast will teach you about the power of affirmations while making manifestation easy and accessible for you in order to enhance your spiritual consciousness. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm so excited to dive into today's episode. Actually, wait, before we get started, I wanted to check with you. Have you heard about my new app? It's called Affirm It, and it's your one-stop shop for all things affirmations, manifestation, and self-healing. I really have been wanting to create something for you that truly empowers you to realize that you genuinely have everything you need within you. You don't need me. You don't need any other coaches. This app genuinely has everything you need to get that life that you've been trying to manifest. And it has gentle daily reminders, guided audio affirmations, sleep affirmations, affirmation reminders, and so much more good information, good energy, and so many things that I know will help you manifest your dreams. Because I'm so grateful for you, I'm actually offering you a free 7-day trial. And this is a genuine 7-day trial. That means you don't have to type in your credit card. You won't be automatically charged. There's no ads, and you get complete access to the app as if you've already subscribed to it. So if you do want to learn more about the app, head over to affirmation-addict.com/app, or if you're ready to dive in, head over to the iTunes App Store and search for Affirm It. The Android version will be coming soon, and as soon as it's ready, I'll be sure to let you know. Now we can officially dive into today's episode. All right, so hello everybody and Happy New Year from my heart to yours. I hope that you guys had a fun celebration. I hope that all of the New Year's posts were not too overwhelming. And honestly, what I did on January 1st was I did a little social media detox for myself, because I feel like social media can have a lot of stuff that just puts a lot of pressure on us. And I mean, to be very frank and transparent, even my content can sometimes be part of that same grouping. And so I really wanted to just take the day just for me and myself and surround myself with family and do whatever. I didn't do any crazy specific rituals. So basically on New Year's Eve, we hung out with Tom's family. We went to this place called Top Golf, and it was actually really fun just being active, moving your body. So I really liked it. I normally suck, but this year I was talking to my body and talking to the golf balls energetically, and I actually did so good. So if you guys ever want to hear about those weird little things I do in my daily life, let me know. I just sometimes don't want to scare you guys away with all these little tricks and things that I do, because I don't know who's going to think I'm a crazy person or who is super into it and would love to learn it too. And then on New Year's Day, what I did is woke up, me and Tom had some reading time, and it was just kind of nice to just like not do anything crazy, not go on social media. Both of us just read our books on the balcony, watched the sunrise. And then actually we hung out with my parents. So my mom and dad came over and we did some wedding planning because we're literally getting married in less than 8 weeks, which is insane. And we watched a movie, and then we just kind of hung out and watched some TV at night. Like no special rituals, it was so nice just being in the moment, which is something I'm really working on because I tend to overthink whatever I'm doing, whether it's working, whether it's being in the moment, whether I'm spending time with people. I feel like I'm always distracted. And so just being present and just like, this is my life. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant. Like I can do wedding planning and watch a movie with my family on New Year's Day. And that's my super insane, beautiful New Year's Day. Like sometimes I feel like we tend to put a lot of pressure on ourselves because you see a lot of people on social media doing a lot of rituals and this and that. And I am all for rituals, but I think the pressure that comes with January 1st is sometimes so heavy. So I really did want to take that day for myself. And I did do a New Year's ritual, which I do every year. It's also on my Instagram if you want to learn about it. It's called a declaration jar. So me and Tom did it 4 days later after New Year's, which is totally fine because I am such a believer that there is no constraint on time and just to let things happen rather than be so strict with ourselves. So I kind of enjoy defying those types of norms and doing things when they're not supposed to be done. That's actually what makes me thrive, and it makes me feel really good, is not doing things when they're societally accepted and should be done on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve. I like doing it 4 days after when everyone's over the New Year's hype, So that's just something I wanted to share with you guys. I'm trying to share a little bit more often. That is a genuine intention of mine to share with you guys. So that was just an honest update from my heart to yours, what my thought on New Year's was. And because I was doing a lot of self-reflecting, I learned so much about why 2020 has such a different energy. Although it might not have felt like there was a different energy from December 31st at 11:59 to January 1st at midnight, not that type of energy shift, but just in general, like people's goals, the people around us, and what the new conversations are in the world. I think there is a really large energy shift that's going on. And I think with 2020, there is a lot of rebirth happening. I think there's a lot of awareness coming our way. I think there's a lot of people just stepping into themselves rather than stepping into everybody else's beliefs who are around them. So I think that's where a lot of this change is coming from. I really feel like 2019 was a year of awareness and understanding and healing. And I think 2020 is going to have just as much of that, but I think there's also a lot more awareness and consciousness and just personal mindfulness coming up, and just kind of a no bullshit kind of year. That's what I really feel the energy is in really layman's terms. But I wanted to take it a step further and talk a little bit about more energetics, more quantum physics, and specifically quantum leaps. That is something in my own kind of life experiment, I've been working on since, I would say, last summer. I was really doing a lot of experiments. I was doing a lot of rituals. I was doing lots of journaling, lots of different types of affirmations. And I was really trying to see, because I felt kind of stuck. I didn't feel bad. I wasn't sad or anything. I just felt uninspired, and I felt very plateauing. That's how I felt last year, midway through the year, even in October. And it honestly might have been the weather in Seattle too. We lived in Seattle. It was rainy, no sunshine. So that could have been it too. It honestly might have just been my mood. Who knows? But I really felt like it was my turn to do some soul searching and really understand, how can I take myself to the next level? Like, my thought is, I teach manifestation. I help try and spread awareness about people taking on their own lives and feeling inspired and not feeling plateauing and stuck. And I was feeling that, which I don't like, not practicing what I preach. So I decided to dig a little bit deeper and take my learnings and what I like to teach people through my experiences to the next level and practice my own experiments. And so those experiments, I know have succeeded. And I wanted to share a little bit about what I've learned and something I created for you guys based off of that. And so something I was really playing around with was the term and the idea of a quantum leap. So if you don't know what a quantum leap is, I'm going to backtrack a little bit, and it is off of quantum physics. So quantum physics is really the science behind the law of attraction. That's the science of energy and atoms and molecules and dimensions and all of that stuff. And there's so much to quantum physics that I have experienced myself, that I've known about, that I just haven't shared yet. And that is actually one of my New Year's resolutions, is to share some of that kind of weird stuff that might sound a little too good to be true or unbelievable, because I've experienced some insane, beautiful things that I haven't shared just because I didn't know how people would take it. And that was my fear. And I'm really trying to overcome that this year and be 100% tell you everything, even if you won't understand it, even if you might think I'm crazy, it doesn't matter. I'm just doing my best to share what I know in the most genuine and honest way. So this is my first step in sharing that type of stuff with you guys a little bit deeper. It is still law of attraction based, still manifestation based. It's just a little bit more sciencey and a little bit more, I don't even know how to explain it, but maybe just more powerful or bigger scale is a way to put it. So I keep deviating from this topic, but a quantum leap is essentially when you go from one reality to another. And not in terms of like you're going from one dimension to another. You're not changing anything. Essentially, a quantum leap is like, because in quantum physics, a quantum leap is called basically when one atom changes from one state to a 100%, like a 180 different state. So basically, it's you changing from one state of being to another state of being seemingly instantaneously. Honestly, all it really is, a quantum leap, is like your body, your mind, your thoughts, and you are just so vibrationally aligned from your current reality to your dream reality that seemingly instantaneously, it'll feel like your life is just doing a 180 for the best. And sometimes people go the other way because they have to heal a lot of stuff. So sometimes for people, it'll seem like you're in a quantum leap, but things kind of just suck. And that's kind of what happened to me. First, it was so many things going my way. Then it felt the opposite. And now it's like I'm 20 steps forward. So to put it in forms of steps, first I went like 5 steps forwards, then I went 10 steps backwards, and now I'm like 30 steps forward. I hope that makes sense. That was like the best way I could explain it. But that's kind of what the quantum leap is. It's essentially your goal is from your current reality, who you are right now, your current job, your current abundance, your current relationship status, your current just state of being. And a quantum leap is from going from this, your current state of being, to your ideal, one version of your ideal state of being almost instantaneously. And for some people, it is instantaneous. For me, I would say it took about a month, but to me, I noticed it in an instantaneous way. So it kind of felt like it felt like a blink of an eye. If I looked at the calendar, it was what I would say maybe 3 months it took to me to get from one reality to another. But like when you kind of reflect on it and when you're in the midst of it, it doesn't feel like that. And that, if you want to hear a little bit more about my perspective on time, go a couple podcast episodes behind. But that's kind of where I talk about time being an illusion. And in the quantum physics world, in law of attraction, it doesn't exist. So I know that's a mouthful. I know it might be a little bit kind of, what is going on? What is she talking about? I have no idea what these words mean, and that's okay, because it's seriously just intuitively an idea. And what it really boils down to, a quantum leap, is it just boils down to you being in such a good vibration, you feeling so good, you feeling so just clear on what you really want, that it manifests super instantly. It manifests very quickly. It manifests very seamlessly. Not easily necessarily, but seamlessly. Like it felt like it happened so quickly. And that's what I believe happened with when I manifested our condo and just changing our life from living in Washington, living in Seattle in a cute little home, Tom being in the Army, and now living in Scottsdale with sunshine in our dream condo, feeling inspired. I think for me, the biggest thing I noticed is my energy levels and my mood and my inspiration and just my drive has shifted so much. And that's really what I was working on. I was so upset because when I started my business, I was so driven. I had so much passion. And sometimes when you start that business, it just feels like you're going, like, what are you working for? Because you're not seeing huge results, or you don't know if you're doing it right. So that's kind of where I was at a little bit. And it really came full circle just towards the end of the year. Lots of people were sending me messages about how the app has changed their life, or how just my page or my podcast, or I got a lot of offers from corporate people to do workshops with them, which was initially my biggest goal. So it really did come full circle, and my inspiration really skyrocketed just ever since moving back to Arizona and moving into our new place and allowing myself to take a break and focus on family and wedding planning, and then just stepping back into the business. And so that is really the quantum leap I experienced. I went from feeling uninspired, a little bit sad and insecure, to just feeling insanely amazing. But that doesn't mean that there was no sadness or anything in between. So to be very honest with you, the first 2 days when I got to Arizona, I was crying like no other. And it was not me. I knew it was not my energy. I knew it was somebody else's energy taking over me. And this is where I'm going to share like the kind of weird woo-woo stuff with you guys, because I'm just going to be totally honest, no filter. But I knew someone else's energy was taking over me. I knew I was like feeling someone else's sadness. And you guys have probably felt this too. We just don't know how to explain it because it's not talked about. And so this happens sometimes when you are in the midst of really changing your life around, really taking that quantum leap. You sometimes do tend to experience that energy of other people, because when you're making so many shifts, some people start to look at you. Some people are watching you. Some people might be jealous of you, and their energy just latches onto you because you're so vibrationally open. Another person's energy will just kind of seep into you, and you'll start to embody it. And that's what happened to me too. And I did some work to clear it, and it finally cleared. And now I feel so good. And so with the quantum leap, and why I think 2020 is a year of quantum leaps, is because the energy of this year is so strong, and it's so like inspiring. I feel like a lot of people feel a lot more confident. I think last year was the year of people feeling insecure, working through their doubts. And this year is a lot more people feeling confident, even if they still have those doubts, but being ready to move forward through those doubts and learning how to navigate through the healing, and being more proud of healing being normal, rather than healing being something you have to do on the side in the background hushing. I think healing is becoming a lot more normal and a lot more accepted. And I think that's why 2020 is having such a big shift. And I think that's why so many people will be taking quantum leaps. And for me, I experimented because I really wanted to make this something I could teach you guys about. First, I always take my own lessons. Then I try and teach it to as many people as I can. So I've already been sharing a lot of the stuff I learned through my quantum leap process, where my reality shifted from one extreme to the other. And now I have basically packaged it up for you guys. It is a program, so it is a paid course, but it's only $111. So this is essentially a 21-day program, and it's a course where I packaged it up for you guys to help you take you through that same process. The main reason it's a paid thing, and the first thing I know people are going to ask is, why isn't it free? The reason it's not free is because I cannot help you feel accountable without having some money on the table. And that is the most blunt way to do it, because it's an energy exchange. I am sharing my energy with you, and you're sharing your energy resources with me. And that's just the way it is. I'm sharing knowledge, you're sharing money. And that's just the way it goes, because a lot of people, even if I do share everything on podcasts and Instagram, which I really do, like I don't filter things. I don't save things just for a paid program. Somewhere down the line, or somewhere in my captions, I have revealed everything that my heart holds. There is nothing I've never shared to you that's not in my paid content, that's not in my free content. So it's just the way people process. Some people do great with free content. Some people don't take free content seriously. So that's just a genuine reasoning for what it is. And so with me, the reason I package this up into a program is because it's a 21-day guided program. So you can start from wherever you are, and within 21 days, I will show you and teach you all the tools in a really accessible way to help you take that quantum leap. That took me about 6 to 8 months to figure out. I've actually been working on taking a quantum leap for 7 years now, and I finally understood what it means after so much research. But I was really working in and honing in on it for the past 6 months. And And so now those past 7 years plus those 6 months is all packaged up in for you for 21 days. And it's a really low time commitment. So that's what I created for you guys out of pure genuineness, not even for me to make money, but I wanted to have something that at a really small price compared to my other programs. And obviously it's more than the app, but I wanted to do it so that you guys could have something that you can take yourself through, that you can work through in order to help you get to that place. Because I noticed for me that 2020 is all about pure genuineness. And for some people, they'll be thinking that this is just another sales thing and they won't align with that. And I understand. I have been in that situation. And I think that whoever needs to hear this episode, whoever needs to join the program will join. I have full faith in that. So that's not what I'm worried about. My biggest thing is the pure genuineness. And if you have that desire to take a quantum leap, you have a program waiting for you. And if you don't, that's fine. I'm going to teach you some stuff in this podcast episode, and maybe that's all you need and you'll be able to take your quantum leap. So everybody has their own journey. Everybody has their own things that they're going to be working on this year. And I do think no matter what, whether you do it on your own or you use my help, you will be taking a quantum leap this year because that energy is so strong. And you being here, part of this podcast energy, I think already shows such a big part of who you are. So the way I want to explain how some people can take a quantum leap is really, really simple. To me, and what I have understood is a quantum leap, to take that quantum leap, it's all about what comes down to your vibration. So if you are interested in taking a quantum leap, ask yourself the questions, what am I doing every day that makes me feel good? And what am I doing every day that doesn't make me feel good? Because I really believe the quantum leap process, and even manifestation for that matter, starts with self-awareness. And I think that part gets skipped. I think a lot of the times we're like, okay, I want to manifest. When is it coming? Like snap, come to me soon. I'm doing my affirmations. I'm doing this. And yes, affirmations are very powerful. Obviously for me, I 100% believe in them, but I think they're even more powerful when you take a step back and start to notice the way your thoughts are going first. Because when you are trying to change your vibration, you can only change it so much. You can't go from depressed to joyful. Maybe you can go from content to happy, or you can go from sad to even angry is one step above. But I think a lot of us aim too high and we think we have to be joyful next. We don't allow ourselves to go slowly up the ladder. And that's where I really think that self-awareness is going to come in and help you understand just anything that feels better. So the whole goal, it's not to feel joy. It's not to feel bliss. It's not to never get upset. That's not the goal. To me, I think the thing that made me understand my quantum leap and get to the point of taking my quantum leap was just having the initial goal to make my vibration one level higher, no matter where I am. So say one day I wake up feeling just super cranky and upset. Okay, I accept and I am aware that I'm upset today. So now my goal is to just become one step better than upset. Maybe one step better than upset is feeling guilty. Even though that's not a positive emotion, that's better than feeling upset. Feeling guilty is just one step above that. And this can mean different emotions and different words for different people. But I think it's really important to understand that a better feeling emotion doesn't necessarily mean happy, doesn't necessarily mean joy. If you are depressed, anger is sometimes on a higher level than depression. So just really being self-aware and being non-judgmental towards yourself are the two really main things that I learned while taking this quantum leap and getting to that point. So if you are interested in working towards that quantum leap and you're not interested in joining the program, these are some things that you can do to start becoming a little bit more self-aware. One thing I recommend doing is getting a journal and noting down your thoughts at the end of the day. So you can, throughout the day, watch your thoughts. Just say, okay, how am I feeling? And just ask yourself, like literally have a conversation with yourself. Am I feeling good right now? Am I feeling normal? Am I feeling whatever? Am I feeling kind of upset, or am I feeling really sad? Just noting down those feelings and taking inventory at the end of the day is such a powerful activity, because we forget and we don't realize how many thoughts we have throughout the day. We don't realize the amount of emotions we experience. We experience a full range of emotions throughout the day. No one person is mostly happy all day or mostly sad all day. We have these different jumps and these different waves that we go through. So that's why one of the biggest biggest things I recommend doing to first start taking a quantum leap is observing your emotions and noting them down. Once you started observing them and noting them down, the next step is to start getting really clear and understanding on what you want. Without judging your desires, without thinking they're too big or too small, start to write those desires down, whether it's in your declaration jar, in a journal, in a manifestation box, or in a vision board. Write those desires down and write those details down. What does those desires mean to you? Why do you want those desires? We forget to ask ourselves why. And when we do ask ourselves why, we start to feel guilty because we think the reason we want our desire is kind of selfish, or we think the reason we want our desire is super surface level. And once again, here comes a non-judgment. Do not judge your desires. Let your desires flow. Let them be what they are, because your desires are in your heart for a reason. Your whole reason for being a human is to desire, is to grow. So don't feel bad about what your desires are. And the next thing you can do after you observe your thoughts, write down your desires and your whys, is start to allow them to happen. Allow yourself to say, you know what? These desires are on their way to me. These desires are on their way to me. I am going to have more inspiring ideas to help me fulfill those desires. We tend to put pressure on, how can I take an action? What's the next step? But sometimes we don't know that next step, but you can make space for that next step. And by making space and inviting that next step to just come to you, you will start to have more inspired decisions and things will start to happen. So for me, to kind of bring this back, to me, what happened is I was really struggling and I just needed help. I needed more people on my team. And I was scared because I was like, it's not like I'm making millions of dollars where I have so much money to spend on people. I'm still a smaller business. I'm technically a one-woman show. And so I had this fear that, how am I going to find someone who can actually be worth my time and help me? And so I basically started understanding I asked myself, why do I want somebody? What are they going to do? How are they going to help me? And then I said, you know what? I allow these people to come to me. I allow ideas to come to me for how to hire the right people. And I allow that to work out for me. And I kid you not, within 3 days after observing how I felt about it, writing down why I wanted it, and just allowing it and letting myself affirm that this can happen. One, I was randomly had a super strong calling to click on this girl's profile and message her. Actually, for 2 people. One of them was a virtual assistant and she would do my email marketing and sales. Her name is Charlize. She's awesome. She's part of my team. And the other one is more of a designer and branding, because I really wanted to rebrand, basically just like refix how I present myself on social media, because I didn't think my posts were very aligned and I just needed a second person to do it. I was so exhausted of doing it on my own. It was like I was burning out of fuel and I needed someone to just do that so I could focus on the writing. And I'm so picky about design, and I messaged this girl and it worked out perfectly and we both work really well together. So both of those things happened through this little 3-step process I just showed you. And I really believe that I took a quantum leap because of these 3 steps. There's a lot more that goes into it when you get resistance or fear and you don't know what to do daily. And that's really what Recharge is all about, which is that 21-day program. But in the meanwhile, if you're not ready to jump into Recharge, start this today, because I know this will help you. I know this will help you increase your vibration even 1 level. And the more and more you can increase your vibration, the more and more your vibration will be aligned with all those things that you really want. And those things will start to manifest and you will take that quantum leap. The quantum leap is possible for anybody. You don't have to be a master manifester or anything. It's really just about aligning yourself to such a strong point that there is no way that anything else can come in your way. So I hope just talking about quantum leaps and a little bit more of this energetic stuff was interesting for you. And I hope it inspired you to either research quantum leaps, join the Recharge program, or even just learn and try and practice the 3 tips I showed you guys. Because whatever you guys do, 2020 has that energy for all of us. And I know it. And I'm so excited because I know I'm already going to hear so many stories from you guys from manifesting all these amazing things, which gets me so excited. So one more time, if you guys do want to join the Recharge program, doors will be closing on January 10th, and the course will be starting on 1/11, so January 11th. Peep the angel numbers at 11:11 a.m. PST. So that's when everybody will get their login info and can access the course on January 11th, which is this Saturday. So if you do want to join the Recharge program, there will be the link in my show notes, or head to my Instagram profile. The link is right there in my bio, or go to my website, which is affirmation-addict.com/recharge. So tons of ways you can access that program, even if you just want to learn more about it and get some ideas on how to maybe figure out your own quantum leap. I won't be offended. But if you do join, I would absolutely love to have your energy in there, because it's a super affordable program and I literally have poured my heart into it. And I know it's going to be the cause of a lot of your quantum leaps. And that is my biggest service. I know that is my duty here. And I know that me understanding my quantum leaps and teaching you how to take your own is going to shift 2020's energy even more and open up more possibilities. So please, please, please let me know how this episode was for you. If you learned something, if it triggered a really interesting thought in your head or whatever it was, I would absolutely love to hear your feedback, and I will be talking to you on the next podcast episode. Have a beautiful day ahead, and thank you so, so much for spending this time with me if you're still here. I love you and I appreciate you. Talk to you soon. Bye. So, how did you like today's episode? I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed recording it. And before you leave, I wanted to just say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for spending some time with me. If this episode or any of my content has ever inspired you, it would mean the absolute world to me if you could leave a review in the iTunes podcast app and just share this with someone you care about. The more you guys leave reviews and share this with people, the more I am able to create more content for you, and that's what fuels me and keeps me going. I am so genuinely grateful for the time we shared today, and until next time, I'm sending you lots of love and lots of healing energy. Bye!